We
are live. Good afternoon, amigos, from
Mexico City.
Hopefully, Telmex, fingers crossed, Telmex. We hope the internet stays strong with us
today.
Today, we are answering all of your questions. Earlier today, we posed a question, I suppose, on Instagram at Kinetic Kennons and also Facebook at Kinetic Kennons for you all to ask us anything. And we're going to answer all of your questions, our favorite Mexican food, our go-to salsa, how long we're living in Mexico, when are we moving to Dallas, our future plans, upcoming trips.
All the juicy details in between.
We have a lot of good questions, and of course, we will be chatting with you on here. Y'all have jumped on quick.
Yeah, so don't ask your questions yet, because I can't quite see them.
And this will be in English. But without further ado, I guess we should start answering questions. Mauri, thanks for jumping on. Nancy, Elias, Carlos, Victor, Steph.
All right, first question. A bunch of these come from Instagram at Kinetic Kennons. What do you like most about Mexico?
The food. The people. Okay.
Oh.
Would you care to elaborate?
Coming in deep. I think the people have been extremely, overwhelmingly welcoming, and that's something that has made us feel very special and welcomed here.
Yeah, there's just an overwhelming sense of kindness. Well, we'll try and mix in the questions because someone had a good one. Yeah. Chicken Nugget Mimi. Thank you.
I thought it said Chicken Nugget Mini.
Thank you for the super chat. Someone asked if we would be watching the León versus America game. If we can get that online, is there a good place we can watch that here online? Because we do not have a TV. Hashtag minimalism. Hashtag we broke. Hashtag Colo. Okay, well, we won't talk about that just yet. Next question.
Have you or will Durango be one of your stops? Saludos desde Chicago.
We have some big plans for August that we are trying to put together, and Durango is in the plans. Is it in the works? We don't have it planned out yet. Typical Kinetic Kennons fashion. We don't really have the plans.
Right?
But we do have it.
How spicy is the food in general when visiting Mexico City, and what is your go-to salsa? Valentina plug.
I would say for most gringos, I would say the food itself typically isn't prepared very spicy. I've had some chilaquiles that come prepared spicy.
One time we ordered chilaquiles and we had to order a glass of milk.
That was in Querétaro and like tortas ahogadas. So there are certain foods that come spicy, but for the most part, I would say the food in Mexico City or Mexico doesn't come prepared very spicy for me. But the salsas on the side is really where you add the flavor and add the spice. And what is my go-to salsa? I don't know if I have Vero. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I have a go-to chile, if you will. Typically what I do is there'll be 3 or 4 salsas. I'll try them all, and I'll go with like the medium hottest. So not the hottest, not the I'm gonna have a stomach ache later that night, but also not the wimpiest. So I'll try and pick somewhere in the middle. Have you ever, Julio asked, have we ever tried torta de chilaquil? We have. We had them in Condesa in Mexico City on La Esquina de Chilaquils. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Someone asked MG says, how tall is Greg? I'm 6'4". That's like 1.9 meters, maybe.
Next question. When are y'all moving back to Dallas?
When are we moving back to Dallas? Sooner than you think. I'm kidding.
I was like, wait, we are?
We didn't have that planned. But
we're not. We're not planning to move back to Dallas. And if we ever moved back to the United States, I can promise you this, it would probably not be in downtown Dallas.
Santiago Gonzalez asks, have you ever tried tacos árabes? Of course we have in Puebla. And last time we visited Puebla and visited the Perms, I got on the bus and had 2 or 3 tacos árabes, and those things were huge and delicious. Someone asked, Alan asked when my next ultramarathon is. I don't have anything planned. I'll do another one, but I don't have anything planned. There's a lot of really, really cool ones in Mexico. but I don't have anything planned. I'm still scarred from the last one.
DJ Chris Skywalker, you're always expecting your saludos, and we never, ever grant you that saludo. So here you have it, DJ Chris Skywalker.
Terry, your brother is moving to Puerto Vallarta soon. You asked, is it safe? We lived there for over a year and go back quite frequently, not quite enough, but we feel like it's very safe as long as you're smart. In the same sense that you're smart in the States. Don't get around the wrong people, and he will be fine. The people of Vallarta are really some of the nicest people we have come across in all of Mexico, next to los Michoacanos.
Next, what is your favorite natural wonder in Mexico? This is a tie. My gut says La Huasteca Potosina, but I also feel like Bacalar. So Huasteca Potosina, there's some like minerals in the water there that make it crystal clear, like bright turquoise blue. It's beautiful, and it's something. It's some sort of mineral that's in the water that mixes. I can't remember.
It's amazing.
And then Bacalar is in the state of Quintana Roo, south, and it is formed. It's a natural lake formed by cenotes, like underground springs, sort of. And so it's
amazing.
Crystal clear because there's no waves, with white sand on the bottom. So it's like the Caribbean. Both of those to me are.
I think for bonus, I think Barrancas del Cobre, the Copper Canyon are pretty amazing. Also East Cihuatel y Popocatépetl. And of course, there's 1,000 things we haven't done just yet. Obviously, we're trying, but there's a lot of things still left to see. Have you ever been to Lo de Marcos? Nope.
No. Where else have you gone in the globe, and do you have plans to do traveling elsewhere?
Together, we did our honeymoon in the Dominican, in Punta Cana.
Yep.
And
that was our first time.
Yes, that was the first time we ever traveled out of the country together.
Yep.
Also, we went to Costa Rica together.
Oh yeah.
And
that's it.
Have you been anywhere else?
No. Where are you without me?
I took a trip in high school with my dad and sister. We flew into Germany, and we did a week trip. So we did Germany, France, Switzerland, and that was a lot of fun. And it was really cool to get to know Europe and see Europe. And our brother-in-law is Polish, and we hope one day to be able to visit them in Poland, because obviously he can speak Polish and would be an excellent guide. Are you guys going to live in other places of the world? We don't have any plans. Our rent is ends in January, and we don't know where we're going to live after that. It'll be in Mexico. Yeah. It'll be in Mexico. But we, again, aren't very good at planning. I think Mexico's definitely our home base. It is our home. It's where we feel most comfortable. Any traveling, I think, we'll do outside of that for the next long while will definitely be based out of Mexico. Someone said, do you have a house somewhere? Do you always travel? Which goes right in line with what Greg's talking about. This is our first, in 2018, we sort of traveled, went nuts, had no home base. And while it was great fun, and it was great fun to travel, it really we didn't treat ourselves the best. We got sick a lot, and it was quite overwhelming. And so this year we decided to get a home base. So we do have a home base here in Mexico City this year. It does feel nice. However, we are rarely here. We're here a handful of nights every month we're here more than it looks like on YouTube, obviously.
Make tuna salad sandwiches.
That's what we're having for dinner tonight. There's two interesting questions on there. Someone said, don't you guys like Texas? I'm from Monterrey, but I'm not going back, or I prefer Texas or something like that. And we love Texas. Yeah. And every time we go back, I feel very proud to be from Texas, and I love driving and just looking at all the open space, and I love Dallas. But I don't know. We also love Mexico. Yeah. There's another interesting question on here. I'll see if I can find it. You can get the next one. Okay.
Was moving to Mexico a huge cultural shock, or not so much? It was, and there was really nothing to prepare us for how different our day-to-day would be in Mexico. we're actually planning another video sort of about what moving to Mexico is like, as best as we can virtually recreate that. But for now, we'll say yes, moving to any country, even though the United States and Mexico are neighbors and we share the same backyard, life is very different here.
Yeah, but I would add to that, I think there's a little bit of culture shock at first, but then almost like when you don't really know anything, it's not as shocking because you don't know what to be shocked by. Like you don't really understand what's going around. You don't know the language. You don't understand the culture. It's almost like a slow shock as you immerse yourself in this country. Then it's, I wouldn't say shocking because shock implies immediate, but it's like Mexico's a very complex.
We're still in culture shock.
Deep country, so we're always learning.
Why don't you visit more of the 60+ indigenous communities in Mexico like you did with the Otomi?
Excuse me, that is a great question, and we did that.
Felix for the super chat.
Canadian money, I believe.
Super chat.
That is a great question, and about a year ago, we did a video visiting an indigenous community in Querétaro with the Otomi, and we had a blast, and that was one of the more meaningful days we've had in Mexico, much less one of the more meaningful videos that we have made. So we really ask you guys, how can we do a better job of that? Or the better question is, help us figure out how to do that by sending us any contacts or maybe where we should go. Where's a good place for us to start to be able to do that? That trip with the Otomi was set up through
it was like an organization, and they had it planned out. It was sort of like a tour type thing. Yeah. And I guess it, I don't know, it kind of seems like how would we do that? This is where we really need your help. We loved doing that, but at the same time, logistically, we can't just get an Uber or ride the metro to the middle of a neighborhood and pull out our camera. But we would like to do that. So if you guys have any connections there, let's get some good
Roberto asked if we are married or related.
Careful.
We're married. I guess I don't know if that means we are
married or related.
Related now or related. Where did we meet? We met in the University of North Texas. Felipe, enjoy the best of the both worlds. We just live
once. Thank you so much.
Yes. Please go to La Mesita. I can't say the last one. It's too fast. In Michoacan. I love the state of Michoacan. I think it's safe to say that's my favorite state.
Ooh.
I think I just said that.
That's bold. Okay, these questions now come from Facebook. Why are there only a few things on your website to purchase?
That's an excellent question.
So
we recently started siemprecontodo.com, always con todo, as a way to share physical parts of Mexico to the United States and Canada. And so we only have a few things on there because we are traveling to these places, meeting the artists, and finding the best art that we can, like in person. It's not like we're contracting someone from China to make it.
Warehouses, and I think we wanted to start Con Todo as a way to be able to share real treasures and real stories, and not junk. And sure, we can have 30 items available, but I feel like in order to keep the quality, it's sort of like it's a new way to share our travels with you guys. So that said, we do have some exciting leather and wool products coming up. Do you want to show me your wallet? Yes. So if you haven't seen, this is what we do have now. This is the wallet. We have several different designs, but it's hand stitched, handmade leather. Make sure you can't see any credit card numbers, driver's license in there, but it's all hand stitched. It's pretty incredible. We've had several reorders. We are working with Alejandro from Alearte in the beautiful city of Guanajuato to make some different products, some for women, and he's truly incredible. And also future plans, we are working with an amigo in Oaxaca for some different wool products. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Wool products just in time for summer. Yes, I'm sorry. I just got snozzed. Sorry. Okay. Of all the favorite foods you've eaten in Mexico, which is truly your favorite? Because you guys say all of them are your favorite. Ooh. What one food?
What one food?
Okay, I'll give you like a breakfast food, a lunchy dinner food, and a dessert.
Okay, breakfast food, chilaquiles.
You're so easy.
I know, but I don't know. They're just my favorite.
Okay.
A lunch food.
Or like lunch or dinner, just one.
Man, I don't know. I know that I say I really like everyone is my favorite. Whatever I'm eating at the time is my favorite.
Tonight it's gonna be tuna salad, baby.
It's not exaggerating. I like food a lot more than it shows. Hopefully, I really like machaca. I really like I don't know. I can't think of a food. What would be yours?
My breakfast food, I would say huevos a la mexicana.
Huevos a la mexicana, a classic.
And for lunch or dinner, I would say
someone said tlayudos.
Tlayudas. I would say tlayudas. I feel like that's like the best food I've ever eaten.
I can't think of what's the one in Michoacan. Aporreadillo. I really like aporreadillo.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like to say that's my favorite dish
it's a big
all
commitment.
Time. I don't know. Sometimes like in the moment on a cold day, pozole might be.
Oh, pozole. Guerrerense or something like that.
Oh, yeah, in Tasco. But like right now, pozole sounds terrible because it's kind of hot outside.
Okay. Next question. What's your favorite dessert? Mine used to be churros. But now I think it's marquesitas, which sounds a little weird, but it's sort of like a waffle cone that's cooked like a crepe. So it's cooked on like a little thing. They flatten it out, but I think they cook it a little bit differently. And so it becomes like a waffle cone. And then you can get things on the inside. So they'll put like a really dry, salty cheese and then also Nutella. It sounds weird.
I would say
and roll it up. It's so good.
Surprisingly, like Mexican ice cream is delicious. Whether it's like nieves de garrafa or if it's just like traditional helado,
Santa Clara.
And it's like I don't know if people think of ice cream as Mexican, but the ice cream in Mexico is the bomb. Yes,
except for that one we tried that they called ice cream. That
what is that? Nutrisa? That place? I can't do it.
This is a joke.
I can't do it.
This comes from our amiga Jane Merriman on Facebook. If you had to leave Mexico City tomorrow to live somewhere you've already been, where would it be?
To live somewhere we've already been?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I would Vallarta, right off the bat.
Yeah, same. Like if you like forced me,
I would say
Vallarta.
There's some obvious like downsides I think to Vallarta just in the. I mean, some of that's the good thing. It's just it's busier. There's more tourists. There's more expats. It's hotter.
Nice and steamy.
I mean, every time we go, the people are so friendly. We have a lot of like friends and acquaintances there. The food.
It's like small town feeling.
Yeah.
But still it's still big enough.
But we're biased because we live there, so we know people there still. Yeah. Someone asked me a question like, what would we say to our fellow gringos that are afraid to visit Mexico because maybe what they see on the news or just what they hear about it? I mean, I guess it's hard because I know we are trying to share Mexico with the world. Thank you, Randy Torres. Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. We want to share the beauty of Mexico, with people, but at the same time, if people are so closed off that it's not even a possibility, we can't convince them. It's their loss for not being able to experience this country. However, for people who are on the fence, I would say just come and try it out, or send us an email. We get emails all the time, and we help plan people's trip and vacation.
It's like the best part that people that watch our videos might not even know is that please send us an email. I feel like I've tried to help as many people as I can plan a perfect trip. Thank you, El Principe
del Pacifico. Really appreciate it from Indianapolis. I was going to add something to the funny thing is now that we've spent so much time in Mexico, I feel like, I don't know, the other day we were talking about LA. We had some plans way back in the day about going to LA.
Oh, LA. I think you said Ellie.
No, LA. Los Angeles. And I was like, man, I feel a little bit nervous. I don't know anything about LA.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we'll jump in a bus and go to a new town in Mexico. So I understand why people feel the way they do. I would just say, just get a little bit out of your comfort zone, and next thing you know, you'll be talking to strangers live on YouTube.
Except for us.
From us, either. Amy Rubio, thank you so much for these super chats.
This is a good question, too. Is it true that the air is too contaminated right now in Mexico City and I shouldn't go out for exercise, walk around? So let me bring some of you up to speed. We came back to Mexico City, had been out of town and came back, and it was like, oh, the smog looks really bad. And then we started reading on the news that, like, I think they had to move a soccer game out of the city because it was so bad. It was, like, unhealthy for the players. They canceled classes at the university.
Yeah, the Diablos, the baseball team, had canceled their games. They played today.
Lots of different things have been canceled in Mexico City over the last several days because of really poor air quality. Thank you so much, Felipe Montoya.
People like you guys that help. Thank you. We really appreciate that, Felipe.
So the air quality has been really bad. Well, I thought the smog looked a little better, but apparently smog and air quality aren't necessarily related. So for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, the air quality in Mexico City has been horrible, and I think they probably are recommending not to exercise, stay inside, which means more naps.
Yes, Jose has a very good question. What's something you think we take for granted in the U.S. or that you guys might have taken for granted in the United States? I don't know. I guess that's a really good question.
Family. I mean, I know that's
I guess depending on where you're from, the time with your family, of course. Like we lived in Dallas, and then also, that's where my family lives, and it's not far from her family. And I think we visited family, but it's, of course, when you're away from them, you feel like, well, we didn't see them as much.
Makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
I think like that's true.
Andres, thank you so much. And shout out to your girlfriend.
Liz! What up, Liz?
Boyfriend of the day over here.
No kidding. It's better than flowers.
Sergio asked if we can become Mexican citizens. I don't
know.
I don't know. That process is like really.
Anybody know Almo?
But we are still working on residency.
One day we'll get there.
Was that all the questions from online?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think so.
That was the last one. All right, give us your best questions now.
Spicy Güero's trying to bring up some old drama. Why don't I like the Chivas?
Spicy Güero? That's what I'm gonna start calling you.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves Chivas, but like, I just decided not to like them.
Hillary, does Güero like cheese?
Cheese.
Oh, do I? I even like yellow cheese.
Cesar.
Gringa.
Cesar asked if we're going to the Guelaguetza. I
don't know.
That's a good question.
Someone keeps asking what kind of milk we like better. I don't know if that means something inappropriate or not.
We don't really drink milk.
Yeah, we get like coconut or almond milk.
Emmy has a good question. Have you been to Nayarit? We have been to Sayulita, un pueblo Mexico in Nayarit.
Yeah.
And I went to. You had to fly back. This was when you were still working CPA firm. Me and my friend Chris went to San Pancho or San Francisco, the playa, a little beach just north of, but we haven't been to like Tepic, but we want to. Thank you so much. Tijuanero 75.
Here's a mordida for you guys to keep talking good about Mexico. That's a bribe. It's just a joke. It's not a real bribe.
No
He's
bribe.
just joking.
No bribes necessary.
Jeez.
No bribes necessary. Frank, thank you so much for the kind
My
words.
finger hurts now. Send a shout out to Chad. He is a grinding who loves your channel. Shout out Chad for the grinding.
What time is it in Australia? Would you guys ever go to Tijuana? Yes. Interesting note, and I probably still don't say it right, but in the States we say Tijuana. We say Tijuana. Mm-hmm. We don't say Tijuana. We say Tijuana.
Tijuana. Best arena for Lucha Libre?
We've only been to Arena Mexico.
But I would say it's the best. It's like known as the cathedral of Lucha Libre. I didn't make that up.
It's online.
When
it was on
trip
Wikipedia.
to Cancun? Not soon enough. Know what I mean?
We don't have a trip to Cancun planned, but we do have a trip to 3 different beach towns. 2 of which we've never been to before.
Yeah.
One of which we have. That will be a shorter part of the trip, but something I think you guys will enjoy. And then 2 different beach towns, one of which I would say a lot of people have been recommending, and the other of which less people, but still. Luke, with a throwback, when will Ricky Martin be making another appearance? You remembered that's who I went to Sayulita in San Pancho, San Francisco. I forget the name. That's Chris Miller. That's who I went to up in Nayarit with.
I don't know. He needs to come back.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll give you.
Do you also feel like Game of Thrones was ruined?
I watched the first few seasons on someone else's HBO account, and then I lost access to their account. So,
do you guys get mistaken as Mexicans yet?
Not really.
My gringa Spanish throws it off, and his 6'4" statue also throws it off.
Yeah.
Can you sometimes make compact videos 5 to 7 minutes long? I feel like some people want longer, some people want shorter.
Yeah. We usually don't plan out the length of a video. It's just like some.
Thank you so much.
Some
University David E. MG Toe mentor. Are you using specific resources to learn Spanish? That's a great question. So we talked about this just the other day on a walk. Actually, we sort of used Duolingo for vocabulary and Pimsleur to practice your speech, and
I watched Netflix
for other things.
Yeah.
Greg watched Netflix in Spanish, but I think the best way to learn Spanish, I would say, is just
talking to people in cabs and talking to taxi drivers.
Yeah, Greg would like catch a stranger and like trap him into a conversation. That's how he got his girl too.
Kind of. Someone said, "Are we saying Mexicans are short?" No, not entirely. I am saying there are tall Mexicans. I've seen Mexicans 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", taller, much taller than I am. But I will say, on average, I stick
my head above.
My head is a lot higher in the crowd than it is in the Houston Hobby Airport. That's not like a diss on Mexicans or anything.
JG Garcia, thank you so much for the super chat, and your picture of a dog is really cute.
A lot of people were saying we should go to the final.
Well, we wanted to go to the America versus León game,
and then it was canceled, or it was moved to Querétaro.
And then the tickets were
tickets for the León game were
2,000 pesos.
Yes. We didn't. Godzilla was filmed. Part of it was filmed here in Mexico City. I don't know if you knew that. I saw that on Chilango.com or something. But
Mexicans for Golovkin. You've been forever. Do you have any plans to go to Chiapas?
Yes.
Boom.
Very quick answer.
Whoa. I cannot read this fast.
David Chica Isa. Is it?
Will you get a dog? Oh, I want one.
I think sometimes we want a dog. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a girl let her dog poop in the airport.
Oh, okay. We don't need to say anymore. But
I won't give you guys the juicy details.
Okay, that's
Where can we get a t-shirt that says "Siempre con todo"?
We're working on that.
We're
working on it. It's like literally in the works.
I think 6'4" is tall anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the point. It was like, I mean, and no one mistakes me for, maybe on the phone if I answer like in a really good accent, maybe someone for half a second will think I'm Mexican. But
what beach towns are you going to? Well, Ed, we'll just have to wait
and find out. A little bit of suspense there for you. Nancy, hello from Texas. Well, hello from Mexico City. Hello to you in Texas.
Someone said, will you do a meet and greet? So we want to do a meet and greet, and it's something that we sort of put on hold. I think it is one of our long-term goals, but the reality is we want to make it about something more than just ourselves. So we're trying to figure out a way to incorporate a way to give back and sort of a bigger platform that we can all band together to help. So hopefully meet and greet one day, but probably not anytime soon.
Jesus Bernal, make more free to Calo wallets, please. We are in the works with Alejandro from El Arte in the beautiful Guanajuato. Is how Ricardo
Do you like
typed
poke?
it. I only had it once, and I did not. It's
really
not that I didn't
sick.
enjoy the taste. I got really, really sick afterwards. So it's kind of one of those things where, like,
it was like at someone's house, and like someone was getting a tattoo at the same house.
Yeah,
it wasn't the best of circumstances to try.
It was in a video. It was in Xochimilco, actually.
Yeah.
Someone, Angel, do you like dogs or cats? I'm a dog person.
Cat.
Cesar says Querétaro.
Okay. Poke isn't that
I
good.
can't read that one, but I can't read the name. But saludos from
Bring back
Korea.
your crusty Braves hat.
Oh man.
Did you lose it?
I don't know where that hat is. That thing was crusty.
No.
Have you guys developed any soccer skills?
I feel Hill might be pretty good. You left out that part of the comment.
I feel like you would be good. I'm not super quick and agile. I might be good on defense, but like I didn't grow up playing soccer, so like the foot skills I just don't quite have. Best Chinese food in Mexico City. Have you had it? I would go to El Barrio Chino. What's the name of the place we go to?
Oh, we should go there soon.
Just go to downtown Mexico City.
Right across from the Alameda.
What do you call it? Chinatown.
Yeah.
Barrio Chino. They have some pretty good food.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best in the city. It's the best we've had.
By
Go
far.
Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, MG.
Again.
Town mentor
What
again.
city would be most patient with my bad Spanish? I would say for a beginner, like no to beginner Spanish, I would look at a town that's known to be frequented by people from the United States or Canada or like travelers. I think like going to restaurants, they'll have menus in both English and Spanish, and it's a great spot to practice. Those places I would say are San Miguel de Allende, Puerto Vallarta, Ajijic.
Yeah.
Of those three, I would recommend Vallarta.
However, depending on what your goal is, like if you're coming just for vacation or if you're planning to live, I would also say all of those places, to a degree, can also inhibit your level of learning Spanish because a lot of the waiters, a lot of people in town will speak English, and they're trying to practice their English, and just more people are speaking English to you, so you don't get out of your comfort zone as much. So like if long term, if you want to learn more quickly, go to like either Mexico City, either go to the biggest city or go to the smallest city like Nautla, Veracruz, and you will learn Spanish pretty quickly, I would imagine, unless you just don't get out of the house. But for the most part, even Mexico City, people speak English and will be helpful pretty much no matter where you're at.
Do you recommend moving to Monterrey? Not for us personally. It's not a good fit for us. We don't have a car, and Monterrey is primarily. That's one of my favorite parts about Mexico is that we don't have to have a car, and pretty much any city that we've ever been to other than Monterrey, we haven't ever needed a car. We haven't really ever felt like we're missing out on anything. So for us, I would say no. But
someone HR3X remembers a throwback joke in a throwback video. Chocomenta abajo. That was in El Barrio Chino.
Best.
Someone else had a good.
Those were good too. Those little.
Favorite Mexican hot sauce? I mean, usually the go-to is just Valentina. Someone I thought had a decent one up here. I missed it. Now I'm missing the new ones.
Yeah, we did. Did you guys ever try salbutes in La Peninsula? Yeah.
Yeah. We really like those.
Yeah. How's the temperature there?
Here?
Yeah.
It's warm. It's warmer than the temperature looks because most places don't have AC. Today was fairly comfortable.
We turned them off so you guys can hear us, and it's all like. But we have fans.
Are we posting the 101 Mexico City facts
sorry,
video?
I said that earlier.
Yes.
It's
soon.
The next video.
Might be the next video.
I think so.
Very soon. A lot of you all helped us plan that.
Does Mexico have better health care? Would you stop buying burritos once per second?
What does that mean? Does Mexico have better? I don't know.
The answer is no.
Luckily, we haven't had too many experiences on either side of the border with healthcare. I will say, like, just getting a doctor's appointment in Mexico is way easier. Though I will say, for me personally, I think I've been way overprescribed. What do you call it? Antibiotics here. So sometimes I just don't. I might not take the antibiotics but I'll take the other stuff. But that's after, like, I got sick several times in a row, and it's like I don't want to stay on antibiotics for 3 months. But however, I mean the doctor costs it was like 50 pesos to go. Really easy to get to. Whereas in the States,
someone asked, "Can you imagine giving up the nomadic lifestyle?" That's really interesting because we also talked about that on our morning walk today.
Yeah, I don't know. We thought we would this year.
Yeah.
But there's still so many, like even surface level Mexico, there's still so many places we have yet to go, much less when you get a little bit deeper and like going back to places and re-exploring places we haven't gone. So it's less about, I don't know, there's still just a lot of things we need to do and want to do in Mexico that really don't jive with just like sitting at home and doing nothing.
It's just not a personality. I have the personality of a squirrel. That's like asking if a squirrel wants to sit in the same spot all day. What it is. Is the altitude very noticeable coming from the United States? Did you guys get altitude sickness?
The funny thing is we didn't at first. Like we moved to Vallarta, then we came here for a few days with my dad, and then we went back to Vallarta, and then came back in November, and I don't really remember it. Like, but now if we spend any amount of time at sea level and come back, we both for 2 days will not be feeling well. Yes. However, we didn't for a really long time.
I don't know. It's like we acquired.
Charlie, are you guys going to learn to dance Spanish music? I just need to learn to dance to like
any
music first. We were like in the evenings at one point, like practicing some cumbia and doing some like YouTube lessons from, I think they're a Mexican couple on YouTube. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So it's like a goal or like something we want to do, but we just need to practice more. I like.
Do you have sons in Mexico?
We have sons.
That we know of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Daughters either.
Yeah, speaking of cumbia, Gabriel.
Okay. A couple more questions. Is the pizza good in Mexico? Ooh, is it?
Yes, it is.
If time wasn't an issue, would you prefer traveling Mexico by bus instead of plane? What are the worst things about traveling Mexico by VIP bus? Those are great questions.
Well, okay, go ahead.
If time wasn't an issue, I feel like I prefer bus travel for certain things. So I feel like if it's like a couple, like, I don't know, 5-6 hours or less, because getting to the bus station, like you have to get there like 10 minutes before, and you can't roll into the Mexico City airport 10 minutes before a flight. So I like the ease and like the low stress of traveling by bus. The downside is it does take longer, but if you count in an hour or two that you have to get to an airport, sometimes a bus isn't actually that much longer. Buses are way more comfortable for long legs here.
Well, I was going to say, there's VIP buses, and I had a tweet on this at Kinetic Kennons.
Yeah,
all VIP buses are like first Primera Clase buses are not created equal.
Yeah.
So like Primera Plus is very nice, but it's here, and ADO is like right around here depending on which one you get on. But I would say at the end is like up here. If it was at the end,
you can take that straight across the country.
Yeah,
honestly.
that would be nice.
It's so comfortable.
If it's even ADO, Primera Plus are very nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes have had issues.
Send us an email if you have questions. I can't remember your name right now. Sorry.
Or kinetickinnons@gmail.com.
Mentor, MG2 mentor. Send us an email and we can chat more about bus travel and which is better for which trip. But I would say generally, I feel like bus travel is more comfortable.
Yeah, Luis teaches English. I have experienced how difficult for some to learn English. What are some struggles you faced and any funny anecdotes? Well, struggles we faced, I would say, is just getting out of your comfort zone, and it's always easier for us to speak English to one another. And like sometimes if I'm just tired, I might not talk to the cab driver or as much, but it's
I think it's hard.
Or I might feel nervous, or I might feel like people are going to make fun of me. Like the other day I had to order these tacos, and I had to like yell across these people. And of course it's super easy, and I know how to say like, tacos de chicharrón or whatever it is. Like that's easy, but it's still like yelling it across everybody, then literally having everybody like look at me because I'm trying to yell my taco order, and it always still feels uncomfortable. But I would say if you can just like get over it and get out of your comfort zone, and like we met these kids in Cholula, and this one kid was like, he was practicing here. They were speaking English to us. They're doing some class, and he was just asking questions, and like he did not care what he sounded like, care what he looked like, and he sounded really great. But he just was firing away and talking, and I think like he had no inhibitions, and we were like, man, that kid is
He's going to be so good. I think for me, it's a lot more of a struggle for me personally to get out of my comfort zone. But I think the important thing to remember, life lessons with La Huerta, is it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's constantly evolving, things like that. Someone said they can't get a question answered. We are doing the best we can.
What was the question? I don't know if we can see it again.
Let me see. Let me see. Carolyn Sanchez. Can't get a question answered.
I can't see the question.
Where are you, Carolyn?
How about that darn migrant caravan? That's your question? Come on. No wonder you can't get it answered.
Okay. I don't even, okay.
What about In-N-Out? Never had it.
Oh, yeah, we've never had an In-N-Out.
Never had it. Whataburger all the way. We're from Tejas, amigo.
Do you guys go to parties in Mexico? Oh, do we?
Not enough.
No, we went to our very first party in Vallarta at CrossFit, and they said the party was going to start at like 8 or something.
Yeah, so we showed up at
8:30, trying to play it cool, be late. We're like the first and only ones there. Everyone came at like midnight, and Grandpa and I were over there in the corner like, can I go home yet?
And then we woke up at like 6 a.m. to get to work or something.
And they were still partying.
So that's something
we're not quite Mexican.
We will never forget. How long are we planning to stay in Mexico? Foreseeable future. We don't have any plans to leave.
When we add more merchandise and con todo, like jewelry.
We're working on it. I got this in, well, this is, I don't know, women could wear this.
Yeah,
I got this
they have a lot of different cool
in
designs.
Chihuahua. No, we don't have any plans to go down to the middle of the canyons again because that was quite difficult.
Yeah.
But we want to find some things like this. We're working with Alejandro to do some leather jewelry, if you will, working with the wool guy. We started con todo very slowly because we had no idea what people would think, and people like it more than we expected. So we're gonna try and see what we can get over there.
You guys never had In-N-Out and you call yourselves gringos? That's funny.
Yeah, but it was very new in Texas. Like it was like in college when In-N-Out came to Texas. So
does the water pressure in Mexico suck? Let's say that very.
I mean, we've had we've like this place in Veracruz we stayed at with the perms. Shout out to the perms.
Gosh.
It was like a trickle.
It was ice cold. It wasn't even worth taking a shower.
But that happens. You could find that. That was a very small town. That could easily happen where my grandparents live in
do an
Louisiana.
food review video. We actually did that.
We need to do it again.
We need to do it again. All right. Only a couple more questions for real.
Roberto is Roll Tide rolled all the way, man. Alabama, I just can't do it. They're like next to Chivas with me, but I do respect the amount of times they win, and I guess same with Chivas. So like you gotta respect the championships.
How's the internet? I mean, you guys tell us. Do we look like cheap like this?
But Mexico City, I would say, is pretty good. Vallarta, we had more difficult trouble uploading videos.
It really has just depended.
Depends on like apartment to apartment, like whatever.
He says, se compran colchones. I feel like I sing that in my mind like once a day. What's your favorite team? What's your favorite soccer team? I kind of adapted that question.
Like of all time?
Well, I guess
the Mexican national team.
Oh, can't lose there. Okay, León o América?
Esta noche
tenemos
que ganar.
That's not even the chant. It starts like
Vamos.
That's how it starts.
Vamos a América.
Rank the beers in Mexico.
David, Francis, we are currently evading law enforcement in the United States. Luckily, they don't ever catch us every 3 or 4 months when we go back.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at evading them.
How old are you guys?
27.
29. Oh.
All right. Thank you all.
No. No. I got a question. I have the opportunity to move to China or UK for a job. How hard is it to start a new place with a different culture? Any tips? Fernando, send us an email.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. And we're
How hard is it to start? China seems like it would be exponentially more difficult than the UK. where like you've probably
Language and
been
culture.
exposed. Like obviously, I mean, you're writing this in English. I'm not sure if you live in the States or
Wherever
Mexico.
you live. Yeah.
But like, I mean, you can obviously speak English in the UK. It's English, although I don't know if I could understand them. But China seems like it'd be exponentially more difficult. Although I think the reward for like really jumping out there into a completely different culture and like, does the UK have good food? I've never heard of any good food in the UK, whereas Chinese food is obviously good.
Tequila or mezcal? That is the last question.
Last question, tequila or mezcal? Well, right now in the freezer we have tequila, we have Herradura Ultra, so I'm going to go with tequila today, my friends. Maybe next week when we have mezcal in the fridge, it'll be different. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate all of your questions.
Finger on the end button.
Andres went through the last question. Puerto Vallarta, Bacalar, or San Miguel de Allende for vacations?
Ooh.
Bacalar, if you want to be totally
never see
anybody and to see the most beautiful water. San Miguel, if you really want to experience Colonia, Mexico. Puerto Vallarta, if you're just more of a beach person. Thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate all of your comments. We will see you in a day and a half or so with a video from Mexico City. We love you all. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have less, do more.
Be more. Bye-bye.
Aluminum or canned beer?
Wait.
I don't know. Aluminum or bottle?
Aluminum or can? Bye.